Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? So, we've got a few reasons to be happy today. Number one, I went to the dentist and they said, come back in 6 months' time, we'll take another look. There's nothing wrong. That's always nice. Number two, the things that we've been doing yesterday were essentially approved by the Cushy author. He said, yes, that's okay. Thirdly, I might have actually found the... I'm 90% sure that Cushy is probably the GUI framework of choice for my project. And finally, it's because I found a replacement for one of these mugs in the charity shop in Marbella today. Amazing. So, yeah, we're going to try and maintain this upbeat attitude today. And we'll see. We'll see how we get on. Right. Let's go. So what are we doing? What are we doing? We've been trying to implement a tab document UI interface in a bunch of different frameworks, and there's a bunch of requirements for them. We've been evaluating various different GUI frameworks, and we've got this little spreadsheet, and we've made some notes and so on. Yeah, let me just pop a link to this into the chat. Where's my chat window gone? Yeah, there it is. OBS is hiding it. Right, that's in the chat. Yeah, there's still some issues with Cushy that make me slightly unhappy, but I'm gonna try and not focus on them today. We're gonna try and stay happy. Staying happy while doing work in software development is is a tall order. As anyone that's been doing software development so long as I have will tell you. It's all great when you're first starting out, and then over the years it all just gets to you. Anyway, let's not focus on that. Right, so we're trying to do this, and we've come up with our ELM sort of approach. And the comment by the author of Cushy in Discord was, this is really cool. That's the basic idea behind my favourite approach to undo and redo management, the command pattern. It basically does what you did, codifies each operation in a message that just has the option of both applying or undoing. Now, we've only got the applying side of this at the moment, but I guess we could do the undo side of it as well in the commands. But, you know, there we are. So just going over what we did yesterday, we're mixing a reactive framework with the ELM architecture, which is used by ICE, so that the basic UI flow is a user interaction, a message, an action, an update method gets called, which can then delegate to other update methods, and this update method takes a mutable self of your application state. So you don't have to futz around with like other dynamics and ref cells and all the rest of it, because you've basically got a mutable self and you can do what you need. Then the update methods update the dynamics, and then the GUI framework then updates its view tree and then does a re-render as required, as in the view is updated. We found a lot of positives, which I went over in the last stream, and not too many negatives, which is good. And I fired this out to a few people, and no one seems to think it's a terrible idea. So we're going to go with it. Yeah. So one of the issues that I do have with Cushy, just quickly go over this. There's no drop-down button yet. You know, it'll come. It's not the end of the world for me. But then I was reminded of the cycle gadget on the good old Amiga. The Amiga has a GUI library or framework built into the ROM. It's actually burnt into ROM on a chip. That's how confident they were in its ability to actually get stuff done. There was no firmware upgrades for the Amiga. You had to take out a ROM chip and put a new one in if you wanted to do an upgrade. Or you could replace the library on disk. But yeah, it was built into ROM. And it had a various bunch of things. It's got a windowing system. And one of the little gadgets that it had because they were called gadgets back then, not widgets like they are these days. Gadgets. One of the gadgets that it had was, where is it? This one, a cycle gadget. And it's an interesting gadget. So a drop down is like the HTML select thing, right? You know, this is a drop down. You click it and it shows you a list, right? A drop down. You find them all over the place. But a cycle gadget is interesting because it doesn't have some of the edge cases that you get with the drop down gadget, because it renders in place. There's no pop-up thing to like worry about where you've got to place it when you click it. So if push comes to shove and there's still no drop down box when I need a drop down box, we might have a go at implementing a cycle gadget as a way to bypass this, or temporary offset or delay this lack of drop down button, because it feels like it might be more manageable to implement one of those as a first widget, because there's no way I want to like start getting into like pop-up menus and all this kind of stuff and all the edge cases and all this kind of stuff. It'll take me ages to do all that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build software using a framework, not make the framework. So I was reminded of the drop-down gadget. The cycle gadget. The Amiga is a great source of reference for anybody writing GUI frameworks, because it did all this many years ago, and it's great. And even on Reddit, like 3 days ago, someone was posting, the Amiga still shows the way of things, you know, how things should be done. You know. Anyway, yeah. Intuition gadgets. For those wanting a history lesson, you can go and look at this. It's on AmigaOS.net. And there's various other little gadgets. You know, this all predates like Windows 95. You know, this was all done and a known thing. It was great. Windows 3.1 didn't have all the stuff that Amiga had in 92. Anyway, I digress. Right. So, what are we doing today then? Let's do some code. Yesterday we talked about lots of stuff and we didn't write any code. So today I feel like we need to write some code. So let's get into it. So yeah, we've got our GUI thing, which now opens in the middle of my screen, which is handy. Except there was a bug, because it's supposed to appear in the middle of the screen without any visual artifacts, but it doesn't. It appears off to the left and then comes to the middle. I raised a bug for that. Don't worry. Hopefully it'll be fixed. So, yeah, we've got our thing. Our system of displaying text and image documents as our test program to see whether the GUI framework's any good. One of the requirements that is missing is a sidebar. And the sidebar is supposed to show information about the application. Let me bring up the one that we had in ICE so you can have an idea of what it is that we're trying to do without me having to draw pictures in a paint program. Yeah. Let's close all the other tabs. Right, so this is what we did in ICE, and here you can see there's a sidebar and it's got a grid. Well, it's supposed to be a grid, but ICE doesn't actually have a grid, but never mind. A grid of information where it's got a path, you know, the title of the thing on the left, the field name or the label, and then the details of what it is on the right. And ideally we want this to be able to be resized so that we can either see more or less of it, and for bonus points be able to minimize it to the left. And for double bonus points, move this side panel anywhere within the document tab. So, you know, move it to the top, move it to the bottom, move it to the right, move it to, you know, wherever. Just like you can do with Windows in IDE, for instance. You know, I've got this tab down here and I could, you know, move it around, you know. And this IDE only lets you place certain things in certain places, but, you know, you get the idea. If we could do that, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, but for now we just want a sidebar that's got a fixed width. So we're going to have a crack at doing that. And we'll see how it pans out. Now, this sidebar is going to be common to both the text documents and image documents. Right, so it's like a shared component. The list of items in the sidebar, however, are different depending on who's using the sidebar. So, yeah, widgets. I mean, I've got a widgets thing, but really this isn't a widget. Technically it's a component, but I feel like we should have a crack at going pub mod sidebar and seeing where it takes us. Why not, eh? Why not? Okay. What does a sidebar need? Let's go pub struct sidebar. It's going to need some items. Let's make it a vector of sidebar item. Seems reasonable. So let's create a pub struct sidebar item. What does a sidebar item need? It needs a label. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it needs a label. Label. String. And it needs something else. But then it becomes a little bit tricky. Because some of them, you know, should we just start with the basic requirements to start with? Some text is all we need. Let's just go with the basic thing. Let's go with the basic thing and we can expand it in the future. Okay, let's just go value and we're going to make it a string. But because this is Cushy, we're going to make it dynamic. Because we want Cushy to update the view when the value changes in this sidebar item, right? Okay, so that's the basic kind of like things that a sidebar needs. Okay, let's see if we can work out what the API should look like when we want to A, create the sidebar, and B, add items to it. But before that, let's drink from the happy mug. See, I need to be right-handed so that I can, you know, do it like this. But unfortunately, I'm left-handed. I mean, unfortunate for the video, but not unfortunate for any other reason. Right. So, document tabs. Right. So it's not really the tab that owns it, or is it? Does the tab own the sidebar document tab? It probably does, doesn't it? Or does the document own the sidebar? Let me think about it. No, the document owns it. It must be the document that owns it, because a document is supposed to be able to be rendered in a container that's not a tab. So it can't be the tab that owns it. So let's close that. Yeah. Where does it go? Now you see, we're getting a dilemma here, you know? Should there be a document container which is an intermediate thing? As in, does a document tab own a document container which owns a sidebar and a document kind? I don't know. Ooh, decisions. Should we just make the tab own it for now? It's not really right. It would have to be refactored later. But in lieu of a document container, I think I might just go that way for now. Yeah, because the document tabs aren't really supposed to be. Yeah. Content. Yeah. So you're supposed to. Yeah. Let's make each of the actual text the documents own it. It feels like more right than giving it to the tab, even though there might be a bit of duplication. I'm not too worried about a bit of duplication. So let's do the text document one first. So a text document is going to own a sidebar. Ta-da! Let's make the image one do it as well. And we'll try and sort of implement it for both of them at the same time and just see where it takes us, you know. Now, yeah, okay, we'll try it. So, yeah. Okay, let's start with the text one. So, well, okay, let's go to sidebar. So at the moment it's got a vector of sidebar items. So that's fine for deriving default, because the vector can be empty. So that fixes this. So now we can add the missing fields and just go, yeah, whatever, sidebar. And we can do that here. And then also here and here. Now, so there's a bit of duplication going on here, which I think I should fix first. The duplication is this, right? Now we've got an async func called load, and we've got an async func called create. What I'm thinking of doing is moving this to a new method, which is not public. And the only way to create one of these text document things is to use the from path or create. Right? But that means these need to be renamed. Or potentially even moved out of here, because they don't take self and they're associated functions. So really they could be anywhere. Decisions. What to do? You see, you think this stuff's easy, don't you? But no. No, I mean what? Because this really is load, isn't it? But then we've got another one called load here. Oh no, this one's create. Let's rename this to just create new. Just for now. The reason for all this will become apparent shortly. So if we extract this to a new method, like this, now we've got this, right? Which is great because it takes a path. And that means we can do the same thing up here as we did here, right? Thus. Right, and we fixed that problem. Yeah. Let's do the same for the image one, because I think we have the same thing in here too. Yeah, well, we do. Let's call this create new. Okay, and refactor this and extract the method new, and then copy that and use it here, I think. And that should all compile, right? Yeah. Look, and it still works. Okay, we've not broken anything. That's good. Okay, back to the text one. So in the new method, instead of doing sidebar default, perhaps we should do something else. Let's go sidebar. Let's make it mutable. And then let's go sidebar.push path item. So let's go let path item is a what? Sidebar item new with a label of path and path, and then you have to go to and then unwrap it and then to string like this. There we go. So it takes 2 strings. I'm wondering whether the content in this bit should be an optional value. I think it should be, because you might not have it yet. You might want to add the items and then later fill in the value. Let's make this option. Oops. Let's call it, and then let's make it some path, right? Seems reasonable. Okay, so now we've got our API. I don't know why it wants me to import that, but sidebar item. Fine. Let's import sidebar item. Let's do a new one. What do we need? We need, we said a label, which is a string, and a value, which is a option. Should the dynamic be created here, or who should create the dynamic? Should the sidebar maintain the fact that it's a dynamic? Probably. We'll try it like this first, and then see where it takes us. So let's go label, and then we'll go value is dynamic new value, and it's complaining about something. What? Missing build. Oh, this is supposed to be sidebar item. Right, that's better. Okay. Okay, cool. So we've got a sidebar item. Let's do import sidebar and go one of these. No, that's not what we wanted, was it? Hold on. What we wanted was this one. Create method push, that one. Item. And then I suppose this is just, well, we need it. This needs to be mutable. And then we need to go self items, push item. Yes, done. Okay, so we've got our sidebar items. Quick flash, hi, how's it going? When you say with ELM, do you just mean ELM-like or actually putting ELM into this project? ELM-like architecture. Yes, it's not actual ELM. I mean, yeah. As in, in the README for this now, we have this ELM architecture for views, which you can read about how we do it if you want. But it's there. The link to this, let me plop it in the chat. I think it's already in the, no, it's already in the video description. You can find the link there. So yeah, so we're adding a sidebar right now. So let's carry on with that. Sidebar, we've got that. Where was I? Somewhere here. Push, but it's not public. Is it public? It is public. Why is it complaining then? That's a fair question. Push not found in the current scope for sidebar. .to string, yeah. We've already created a method called push. Let's see what the compiler says. I suppose let's go sidebar default like this, and perhaps that'll help the compiler on my IDE. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so basically we put stuff into a sidebar, but then what? Nothing. So I suppose where we create the view for a text document, we need to do stuff. Yeah. Okay. So what do we need? We need a sidebar widget, and then we need some other things. I guess we need, I don't know, what do we need? Because the sidebar is just like a container, so I guess we need a, and it's not really a sidebar unless it's attached to a side. And the top and the bottom aren't sides, but technically it could be attached. Well, I suppose if you've got a square, they're sides, aren't they? Okay, fine. Okay, let's do it like this. Let's go let sidebar widget, I suppose, is what? Self.sidebar.make widget, because that seems to be the way of doing things. And then what we're supposed to be returning is a widget instance. But we need to somehow lay this all out, and I've totally forgotten how to do all that because we've been way too busy doing non-GUI related things to make the GUI work. Didn't know that was possible. How can you build a GUI and spend ages writing it without doing things that aren't related to the GUI but are? I suppose they're not related to the views of the GUI, but it's still related to the GUI system. So we need to turn a widget instance, but now we've got two widget instances. Let's just say let content content widget. So now we need to find something that we can put these widgets into. So I suppose we need to look through the list of widgets. Where were they again? Here they are. So we've got a grid, and then we can do these columns as well, right? But they were on some. They weren't in the. They don't have a separate file by themselves. So I suppose we can have a tuple, right, of a sidebar widget and a content widget, yeah. And then we go into, how do we create? We want into row to make columns. I just wanted to put a name to that just so we can see the type here. Yeah, okay, so we've got a stack, yada yada yada. Great. But we don't have this yet. Sidebar make widget. Sidebar. It needs a make widget. which I guess takes self and gives us a widget instance. And for now, shall we make a space? Oh no, I suppose we can so what we need to do is iterate over the items. For each item, spit out a... Well, we've got to create a grid, haven't we? How did we create a grid before? Who remembers? It wasn't entirely obvious how you're supposed to create a grid. We had to create like tuple structures, didn't we? And then once we had a bunch of these tuple structures, we could add them to a grid. Where did we do that before? It was on the form, wasn't it? It was on the form. Let's refer back to our form. App tabs, new. So here we are. So we created some things, and we didn't call make widget on them. And then we went from something that can be converted into a widget. And I guess if it's already a widget, then it doesn't need to do the from thing. So you put them in a tuple, and then once you've got all the tuples, you keep going and on it. But that's going to be a problem if we're going to need to iterate, if we're going to create all these tuples in a loop. Because what method on from can we on grid widgets from can we call that allows us to take an iterator? Because we need to create grid widgets first and then give it to the grid, because this takes something that can be converted into grid widget with a specific amount of elements, and that's going to be a problem because we don't know how many elements are going to be in the sidebar. And this needs to be constant, yeah. Or does it? Oh no, it's parameterized. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. So we got grid widgets new. We can create grid widgets from a vector. Oh, okay. Okay, we might be okay then. Okay. Let's try and use this. Okay. So in the sidebar, we're gonna go let grid widgets is grid widgets from and then some stuff. But we need to make some stuff. And this is going to be what? How does it going to... And the... Wait, what? How does it work again? So each of these need to have the same amount of elements in them. That's right. Okay. So I suppose this is the rows. Rows. Oh, what happened there? Rows. There we go. Let's call it grid rows. This is going to be a vec of what? It's going to be a vector of two things. A widget instance and another widget instance, maybe. And in order to do that, we need to iterate over self and then map these to the thing that we want. Item. Right. So then we need to return a tuple. So let's start with that. And then let's just create foo into label for now and bar into label. And then we'll deal with the actual sidebar item in a bit. And now it's complaining because we've clearly done something wrong. Oh, because into widget? Oh no, is it make widget? Yeah. Does that fix it? Widget instance, make widget? What do you get back from that? You get a widget instance, yeah. So why is it complaining? What have we done wrong? Oh, we have to collect it. There we go. So grid widget, grid widgets, and then we're supposed to go let grid is grid from rows, grid widget. I guess this is grid row widgets. And then go grid dot make widget. Does it compile? No. Oh well. Okay. So do we not need to call make? Wait. Widget instance, yeah. Into rows. Oh wait, hold on. Dot make widget, perhaps, because we're supposed to return a widget instance, and this is a stack still. But it's still complaining about this. How do we create stacks again? Given two widgets, we've got two widget instances. We put them in this, and we go into rows. I'm forgetting how to create rows. Let's see if we can work it out. So, are we supposed to call and on this thing? Oh, it was this, wasn't it? It wasn't this. It wasn't this. It was sidebar widget dot and then the other thing, then into rows, and then that gives you the widget list. Yeah, that was it. That's it. There we go. Right, we've remembered. The cats are going to get skinned because there's so many ways to skin a cat. Got to try them all. Poor little cats. I used to have a cat. It was very fluffy. His name was Clyde. He was named after the Pac-Man ghost, the orange Pac-Man ghost, because the orange Pac-Man ghost was called Clyde. And so was my cat. Bless his little cotton socks. Right. Enough about the cats. What happens? My smiley mug's working, I think, today. Okay, so nothing. Oh, wait, no. We've got, it says foobar, and then we've got this underneath it. Okay. So I think perhaps... Is this supposed to be into columns here? Or is it just that... Yeah. This is kind of what we want, like this. We've got a thing and we've got another thing. Let's say that this takes up all the rest of the space. Is it something like expand horizontally? Oh, do. That did the exact opposite of what I wanted it to do. Why isn't this thing like taking up all of the space? Perhaps this should be expand horizontally as well. I guess one of them needs to be expand, right? Oh, there we go. Ha! So we've got foobar and example. Okay, we're getting there. We're making progress. We are definitely making progress. So, then what? Now, before we did this, this text box filled the entire window, but it doesn't now. Let's go expand vertically, and let's make this expand vertically as well. Seems reasonable. No. You should. I'm not sure whether this is this really supposed to be rows or columns here. I thought it was supposed to be rows when you want to make columns. No, it is going rows into columns. I might be thinking of the other framework. I mean, what does it really do? As a into columns as a horizontal stack of columns. Has this changed recently? No, it can't. Surely it can't have, because all my other code would be wrong. Oh, so this is the problem when you use too many frameworks. You can't remember what the columns and rows are, really. I mean, I know what a column is, and I know what a row is. But it says, yeah, but then you quick flash. Yeah, but then you skinned the thing. What thing? What did I skin? Oh, the cat. Oh, I see. I thought we were talking about user interfaces still. Right. So Let's see if we can make the background color of these things a different color so that we can see where they are. How did we change the background color? Who remembers? Okay, so we've got the sidebar, we've got the make widget, we've got this, and we've got our grid. Okay, let's go. Was it with? It was with, wasn't it? And that gives us a style, and it was something like widget background. It's not very intuitive doing the styling in Cushy, but it wasn't much better in Iced either. So what are you going to do? And then I think we needed a color of red. Let me see where else we did the widget background thing. What did we do? So it was. I think we might have imported the wrong color. No, we haven't. There we go. One of those. What's the difference between? Wait, what? What's the difference between this red? Where's this live? This is Cudgy color. Oh, I see. Right, this is setting the component of a color. Yeah, no, that's definitely not what we want. If I picked any other color apart from green and blue, I probably wouldn't have had this problem. I should have just picked like rose pink or something. Or let's just go with pink. Because like a color doesn't have a pink method, right? Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so you know, we've got a pink thing, it's fine. Let's make it dark blue so that we can perhaps read the text on it temporarily. We're going to get rid of this, don't worry. There we go. Okay, so then we've got our input on the right hand side, which isn't taking up all of the space. And we don't know why. Text, your cat, yes. I didn't skin my cat. I went away for the weekend. I came back, my cat was missing. And then I put some signs up saying missing cat. And then a few days later, someone said, "We found your cat." He called me up and said, "I found your cat." I'm like, "Yeah, come and get it. He's in a bag." Oh, it was not good. My cat was dead. I had to go around and pick him up. I don't know what happened to him to this day. I still don't know. Dead cat. Buried him. Poor little thing. Text. Right, so we've got a widget, and we've got a content widget, and we've got all this stuff. Let's make this have a background color with widget background with a color of, I don't know, dark cyan. Why not? Did we pick the right color library? I think we might have done. So exactly. So why is it not expanding? And why is there a gap above all this and to the left of it? Don't know. Okay. So we can go into columns like this, and we can set a gutter and we can say px new of 0. Maybe. And this is the styling UI pane. Right, so now we've got rid of that gutter in there, but we've got this going on as well. The tab bar and the tab container has got a gutter between the two, I think. Let's go to the tab bar, and I suppose we've got a make widget. I've got a widget here. Right, and this widget is made by this, and then this thing here perhaps needs a gutter with px new. I don't know why it came up with 38. That's a pretty random number, that is. Oh, it's because I had a 38 here. Right. Okay, so now we've got rid of the gutters, which is good. Let's just do a quick commit for the tab bar. Remove tab bar to tab content gutter. Thus. Okay, right. Back to the other stuff. So we don't care about the tab bar anymore. So we still don't know why the input is not expanding vertically, even though we told it to. It was before. Before we put it into a series of columns, which is a row. It was doing it. Let's just see what happens if we move these up. And then we're going to see what happens if we reorder them. Yeah, you know, Cushy's not without its oddities, that's for certain. Like, it's most odd. Right? If I put these underneath this and then run it, it goes like this. And if let me move this one down one at a time just to see when the problem comes. Expand horizontally. I said expand horizontally. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Okay, we're just going to move both of them up and put that to the back of our heads. And we're going to take another drink from the happy mug. Come on, happy mug, we can do it. Right. Okay, that's kind of what we wanted. We've got a sidebar and we've got some content. Oh, I see. We've not fixed it. We've just changed where the background draws, haven't we? Yeah. Because previously, this box filled the entire content area, so it's still not right. Do I care? I do care, because it did it before. Now we've got some validation things, and we've got centered, we've got height, aligning. I mean, we've got this expand. What does expand do by itself? Grow to fill its parent. Okay, let's try that. Oh, look, that did it. So if you've got a widget that is both expand horizontally and expand vertically, what's the difference between doing both of those and just doing expand? Oh, it puts a weight on it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So it calls expand horizontal. So if you do this one and then do this one, what does expand horizontal do? Yeah, it creates this weighted thing. Okay, so what does the other one do? The just expand thing. What does this one do? It goes expand new, weighted, expand kind. That is kind of weird. Now I know that there's a commit, right, which is fiddling around with all this expanding and alignment and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to worry about it too much because there's already a bug with this other commit which I reported earlier today. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to go, okay, whatever. We're just going to go with expand. So we should be expanding instead of doing this, I think. Let's try this and see what happens. Okay. I think we did. That's kind of what we want. Now, we've got alignment issue. It's being centered. I don't know why it's being centered, but it is being centered. I didn't say it should be centered, but it's being centered. So we've got a sidebar widget. And it's got a bunch of things which are being centered. Let's say align top. You know, and if some of the defaults in the framework are changed, then we can come back and edit it. It's fine. Okay, we've got it. Right. So we are definitely getting there now. This is kind of what we want. Okay. Now let's try and get the values out of the sidebar item structure that we've got in our list instead of just going foobar for each item. So that should be fairly easy. We should be able to go item.label into label. But it's trying to move it. Can we clone it? Do we clone it? Is that what we're supposed to do? Item.label.clone maybe into label, or just no. Probably need to clone it. All this random cloning of stuff. Okay, we're going to go with it. Fine. And then we're going to go item.value. And value is dynamic, so we might not need the clone in it. And then we're going to create a label from a dynamic. But can we do it? We can't. Because it's an option, might not have a value in it. Should it really be an option? Let's go. Let's pretend the answer is yes. Because there's a switcher. There's a switcher. Oh. Is it switch between? Is this right? I don't remember the API. Oh no. So switch between takes a map collection. This takes a map function. I think it's the first one. I think it's switcher. Right, and this takes 2 arguments. I don't know what the other one is. Foo. Yeah, I don't think you need to use that one. And I guess we go item value, perhaps? Or no, it's just item. And then match the item. And if there's some item, then item into label. I mean, how many times can we shadow the same thing? Sure. I guess this isn't. Oh wait, this is the value. Yeah, and if there is some value, then we do this. Otherwise, not item into label, value into label. Otherwise, we go space. Oops. Clear, I think. And then on the end of that, we go. I don't know. Let foo is this. And then why is it complaining now? Switcher. Oh, we got to make. Oh, we need a bracket. Oh, I pressed a button. I pressed the wrong one. This one, perhaps, and then we make a widget on that. And we've got this move, so we probably need to clone the dynamic. But it says we want. The match arms are different, so I suppose here we go. Make widget, and now we can just do this without all this. So if there's a value, you get a label of the value, and if there's not a value, you get an empty space. That's what's supposed to happen. No, it doesn't compile. Value escapes the closure body. Yeah. It's true, it does. Can we move it? Yeah. I mean, we can. The unnecessary moving of things is going to strike its head again. How do I create a switcher from nothing? Because you have to start with something. Trait switchable. Where do other people use this? Here's a switcher, and it goes. So it starts from a dynamic. Perhaps we're supposed to go. No. Why do I have to? Why do I have to clone? Why? Wait, which one escapes it? is a reference to a string. Do I clone it here? Is that the one I'm supposed to be doing? Yes. Okay. We can get rid of that and this. Okay. So we're cloning the and this value is the dynamic. So we're cloning the dynamic, and then we're cloning the value in the It's fine. Everything's fine. There's not too many clones going on at all, is there? Come on, Happy Mug. We can do it. Okay, now what? We should see the path, right? Oh my god, we do. But Houston, we have a problem. It's got a bit non-rappy. Yeah, the path's a bit long. So kind of what we want. Well, I mean, we could fix this a number of ways. Can we set a maximum width, do you think, on this switcher thing? Well, I don't know, width? Dimension range, look, we potentially can. Width. And then I think you go dimension range. And then we want to use this from, and it's a range 2, right? That one. And then we go ... and then pixels of new, and let's say, I mean, I don't really want to specify, like, I don't really want to specify the size, because I want the user to allow it to be resizable anyway at some point in the future. I just want to specify a reasonable size to start with. But let's just go with 100 for now. And put a fix me. Ideally, we want a sensible default width, not. I mean, is part of the problem that this. Wait a second. Should the I don't know where. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're just going to go with it and see what happens. So we've got our size, you know, and it's wrapped it, which is good. In Floem, we had big problems trying to create a sidebar, because when you clicked and dragged over this, it would start selecting this text, which didn't wrap and was behind the element. Who remembers that? That was bad. I'm just going to refresh people's memory on this one. Right. So in Floem, we had this window, and if we opened, say, one of our text files, right, the path to the text file is displayed in this sidebar here, right? And if I do this, or maybe they've fixed it now. Oh, they might have fixed it. Yeah. Oh, I think they fixed it. Okay, I updated my Floem the other day, and they've actually fixed that issue. Previously, when I started selecting stuff here, it would actually select the path back over here as well, and that was really weird. But they fixed it, so that's good. At least my pain is helping to progress the world of Rust GUIs, because I reported that and they fixed it. Happy days. So we don't really want this. Like, I mean, but because it's not currently resizable, it doesn't make any sense to specify. I don't know, does it make sense to specify a range? Should we really be specifying like a books new with a 100 here and 200 maybe, you know? It's going to look very silly with a 200. Let's see what happens here. Oh. Okay, that's weird. Okay, it's sort of doing what we want, I think. We've got this path and we've got this. Let's poke the image one, sure. Okay, so we've got this correct content and everything's fine, right? So we've got a sidebar widget and we did this. And then we've got the image one and we want to do the same thing in this. Create content. Thus. And then this is supposed to be the image widget. Right. And then let's do these things on this as well. This. And then sidebar widget and content widget. Yeah. Okay, all of this. But it's not going to be the content widget, it's the image widget here this time. Okay, we're gonna go with it. Okay. Okay, so, oh. You guys know what I did, right? I tried to create a grid with nothing in it. I reckon that's where it died. Yeah, look. Live rows. Ah, that's interesting. That might be a bug. That might be a bug. Because on the text one, where we created the text document, right, we created the sidebar and we added one item to the grid, right, the sidebar. But in the image one, I neglected to do that and it crashed. So let's make the sidebar and put the item on it. You know, some duplication. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. And then we're just going to go sidebar. Right. Plop. And let's move this method up to the top. That's a bit better. Have we got too much space? Yes. Okay, let's try it again. Quick Flash is asking in the Discord server. The author, because I said the author of Cushy likes the idea of this ELM pattern, and he asks, "Is that the direction that you think Cushy is going to go?" No. What the author has said is that he wants the framework to be flexible enough to allow people to use the framework in whatever way suits them, whether that's including sort of like actions and all this kind of stuff, or just keeping everything purely reactive. Either way is fine for him, as I understand his thoughts. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a sidebar, and we've got a sidebar. Oh my god, we've got a sidebar. And this is aligned correctly, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, it's not particularly pretty, but sure. Let's do that. Let's keep that for now. Okay. Let's do a commit. Should we commit it with the background colours on or not? No. Let's remove the background colours. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Goodbye. And the same thing. Oh, I've lost it. There it is, that one. Let's get rid of those. And on the sidebar. And this one as well. That's go. Let's make sure it works. Yep, it does indeed work. Now, it's not really clear that it's a sidebar at this point, so let's put that back on. And let's just say dark grey for now. Now, granted I'm on dark mode and really I sort of want to... And this grey isn't even dark. That's not the fault of Cushy though. 169 for a dark grey. What kind of madness is this? Let's search for greys. Dark slate grey. Dim grey. Grey. How can grey be darker than dark grey? I don't know what these people are thinking. I don't think this is a... It's not the fault of Cushy that though. I want like a grey that's around like 40 or something. I think we did some colour... Colour things before, didn't we? Yeah, very dark grey. We had this one, right? Currently, this is living in the tab bar. I don't know. Let's. I'm going to duplicate it. It's fine. Right, so now, yeah, but it blends into this now. Should we put extremely? What's the next adjective that we can have? Extremely dark grey, and make it half of this. Oh, we need to be using that one. Okay, at least now it's not duplicated, right? Everything's fine. And you can't even see it now. I mean, you can just see it. Okay, so maybe not that extremely dark grey. How about 24? Like barely visible dark grey. There we go. We can see that one, and there's a clear difference between that and that. That's fine. Okay. Progress has once again been made. Fine. So what do we do? I suppose we could have two commits here. We could have a sidebar as the thing all by itself, right? And we need this, and we need this. We don't need any of this. Yeah, okay. Add basic sidebar implementation. Right. And then this one is what? Oh, we've got color up here. We've got widget background not used. Same deal here. Let's get rid of the warnings. And then this is where we rename those methods and then stuck stuff in a sidebar. Now, I'm not entirely sure about the sidebar API at the moment because perhaps it should take a container as like an argument, right? But if you then start to move it around, it doesn't necessarily make sense to make it take a container. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Maybe calling it a property grid might be a better idea, and then the thing that you put the property grid in is a sidebar. I don't know. We can rename it later, it's fine. Use the sidebar for image and text documents. Everything's fine. Commit. Let's go. Right, what next? Well, we've got to update the requirements. Let's search for side. Okay, so the text tab, it shows the file path. Yay. And the sidebar shows the file path. Right. Let's amend that last commit. Good. Now, other things are supposed to be in this sidebar. But I think it's going to be a problem. Let's see if we can deal with this. I don't want to touch the text selection thing at the moment. Okay. Image. Close the tabs. So we've got our image widget here. Right, what can we do with it? Can we have an on click? Is there an on click? What do we think? No. Into button. That's interesting because I know that on button there's an event handler which gives you an event, and that event has some information in it. Let's just try this. Into button, let's go. And then on click, we get an event. Right. And and in this event, button click, we might be able to get something from a button click. Yeah, look, there's a location. And then there's a window location. So is this the location of the cursor on the button? That's kind of what we want. Let's see what we get here. Let location is this. It's a point. Okay, let's try going. Now this is the user interaction. Oh wait. Oh wait, we need a message. I mean, we could start futzing around with mutating self and cloning dynamics and all the rest of it. But no. So what do we need to do here? We need a message. We've got a message here. We can create a new one. We can call create. We've got load and create content. I think create content here needs to be given the message so that you can use it. Let's look at where this is called, which is here. And here we don't have a message. Because we've not used it in one of these things yet. Let's look at one of the other tabs which does use a message. And the way they work so far is when you create a new one, you give it a message and it stores it on self so that you can access it later. Fine. So let's do that. So yeah. Okay, so the document tab has got a default on it. No, does it? No. Document tab, it takes the document key. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So where new tab has one of these, document tab needs one of these, but not a new tab message, a document tab message. Because I don't think these are ever constructed yet. Or maybe they are. Ooh, Well. Okay, we're going to deal with the fallout. Making the content, doing the update. So it's passed in. I guess I'm going to have to futz around with it somewhat. Sure. But where... Let me see the usages of document tab message. To see where they're created. Hold on. Because I don't remember. something created there. Okay, hold on. Let me look to see where this was used. So clearly there's one given here. Where is the code that I need to? Yeah. Not that. But this gets given a tab kind message. And this tab kind message comes from here, and therefore we need to find where this is used. And then this is created there. Yeah. Okay. We're going to stop going through that because what we need somewhere is a way to set that message to be something. So this is where we create the tab message and we create a dynamic one there. Yeah, oh my gosh. Is it because we're mapping things and really we shouldn't be mapping things, and we should have some dynamics which are created which have the mapping stuff on them? Quite possibly. Yeah. Let's have a look at the tab bar source again. It goes to an action. We've got tab kind message. Can't find the bit of code that I need. Yeah, you know your system's getting too complicated when you can't find a bit of code that you need. I'm just going to hold this here and hide behind it. Okay. Yeah. Well, we know that we need to pass it in. Let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. We're going to find the problems eventually. Message. Right. That's what we said we needed to do. And then well, document tab message. It's got a none on it. It's default. Let's see what happens here. So we create one here, and this is in main, which is good. Hold on. Is this where we need to do it? My brain hurts as to what we need to do here. We know we need one of these, right? And it needs to be one of those. And this is supposed to be document tab message default, right? Because we've not done any user actions in the documents yet. This is the first one, so I've not written this code yet. We've got a where's the new create new tab, add new tab. This is where we do this, right? And this is, so we create one of these here and we pass it in, and then this is the kind of stuff that I want, and this is where we do the mapping, right? So I want the same thing that we did there. Let's just pop that in there for a second and then take it out of there, because it's always the same for both of these two types. And then move it up to here, rename it to document tab message, and then do this same stuff. And this message is the app message, and then every time we get a new one of these, we have to set the app message to be this kind of thing, and it's going to be a document tab message of document tab message. That's what we need to happen. Right. Okay. Let's carry on and see where this takes us. So we've got a document tab message, and we've put it in the message. We've got it. It's here. Now the problem is, when we create the documents themselves, we need a document message. So let's go back to that. Good Lord. Right, so this is create document. Okay. But then we've also got the open document one, I guess, which we also need to futz around with. Let's have a look at this. We've got open document. But this is make document tab with a document. Okay, right. Do we use this anywhere else? Make document tab. We use it. Here and here. So this make document tab, is it the same? Is this bit of code the same as the open document bit that we were just looking at? Oh, I can't find it. Open document. No. Was it create document? Create document was what we were just fiddling around with, wasn't it? Because we're adding a tab. Hold on, I need to do a split view. Close all the other tabs for a minute. Split it. So we're interested in trying to not repeat all this stuff. So we lock a tab bar, we create a document, and we go new. We create a new tab. So we've got make document tab. So we go document lock insert document. Right, that's one thing. Then we do document tab new with the document key and a message. That's the other thing we do. And then we've got a tab bar which we lock and add the tab kind to it. Yeah, so all that's the same. And then we get a tab key back. Okay, so we can move this into here, but we don't have a tab key. How have we got a tab key here? Well, then I guess we can't do that bit just here because we don't have the tab key. We've got a tab key here, mind you, so we can do it there. But we need the document tab message. No, we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. And we can clone this one. Right. And then that's all okay, right? And then we can call make document tab here, perhaps, with the document kind. So here we call it make document tab . And then we've got a document. Is that right? I think that's right. Which means we should be able to delete this because it's the same as that other one. And we delete this because it's the same as the other one. Right, these two things. And then oh. Oh, I see. Here we go in add tab, and the other one we go in replace. Okay. So I suppose there's two things going on here. There's one is okay. No. Okay. We're not going to do that. We're going to undo this. And then eventually we're going to find the bit that we wanted. Yeah. And then that's what we deleted. Right, so let's see if we can just extract this for a minute. Okay, let's just duplicate it for now, and then we'll worry about the rest of it later. Okay, we'll refactor it later. Because it's different, I didn't spot that there was a difference between add and replace. Oh well, never mind. So here we're trying to create a new one, but we need two things. We need a message, right? So we need a document tab. Right, we need this, but we don't have it, so we create it. But we can't do the mapping until we've got a tab key, and we only get the tab key here, so we've got that bit that goes there. But this has been moved, so we have to clone this one. Okay, fine. And yes, this is a duplicate bit of code. So can we now refactor this bit? Refactor method, and then go foo it. Does it need to take a mutable self? No. Okay, so if we do this, and because this was duplicate, we can do that, right? And then let's give this a better name. What's it doing? I suppose it's what? Create document tab mapping? I don't know. Maybe. Sure. Now, where do we get to? Do you remember where we got to? So this one, create document tab message. Well, this one needs the clone here, and the other one needs it. Doesn't need it there, right? Okay, so yeah. Document message. All right. So we've got the two different types of document. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Right. Where do we get to? Okay. It compiles. That's good. So what we were trying to do is add a message with a location. What we want to do is emit this message. So the problem is we still don't have a message in self here. So we need a message here, which is a dynamic image document message. And we need to be given one of these when new is called. Right? which means that we need to do some parameter passing. And everything's fine. Oh, we don't have the message there yet. Okay, fine. Okay. And we don't have the same problem with text yet, so I'm going to leave it alone. Right, but now we've got a problem because everywhere we call this, we haven't got the thing. Okay, message. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so the from path thing needs a message. Yeah. What is this going to be? I suppose this is image document message. Okay, so we need to create one of those. No. Do we not have default on image document message? We don't. It's true. So let's implement default for EDIDM. Yes, we want that, and yes, we want that. Okay, it's done. We got the button click thing. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Totally fine. But the problem is nothing's going to happen with this image document message ever if anyone sets it. So again, we need to do that mapping thing. So let's borrow that. Create document tab mapping. So it's basically one of these, right? Can we do this here? I think this is what we need. Well, I don't think this is exactly what we need here. Let me think about this a bit more. Yeah, well, we've got this tab key, we've got this image document, we've got this image document path, and we've got this image document message, but then and this is only when we're opening a document. You see, it's all getting pretty funky and hairy right now, isn't it? Let's delete this and think about it a bit more. We've got this. It's probably going to be used twice. We've got the other one, create new, which is used here, which also needs one, right? I don't think this one was right. I think it might be all right. Dearie me, the mapping stuff is a bit of a faff. It's true. So we need this image document message here as well, right? Oh, yes. The mapping of messages in this whole thing is a bit of a faff. So we've got an image document message. Yeah. What do we need to do with this image document message? Do we need to map an image document message to the other type of message? My brain hurts with the mapping. We need to... When an image document message is updated, it needs to be mapped to the document tab message, doesn't it? Does it? Yeah, what if it doesn't live in a tab? Because if we create a dynamic and someone sets it, nothing's going to happen to it, right? My brain hurts. Don't we need to update this one? Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Let me see if I can get this right. So when we get an image document message and we got 4 each cloned on it, and we go foo, we need to call persist on it, right? When we've got foo, which is an image document message, let's call it image document message as well, right? When we've got one of those, we need to get the document tabs message and set that. That's what we need to do. And we want to go for set with some stuff. And we're supposed to be setting it to a no, why is it? I said force set and it force set that one. And we need to set it to a document tab message of type image document message with one of those in it. We need to wrap it with that. That's what we need to do. Let me look at this again. And then when we get a document tab message, yeah, I think this bit doesn't really quite belong there like this. Yeah, we can do it like that, but I think it's not quite right. Many patterns is fine. We don't do anything. Everything's fine there. This needs a move on it for sure. And then we've got this use of moved value, so this got moved into here. So here we need to clone it, because that's what you need to do. Clone the other one. Duh. This one. shadow it. It's fine. That fixes up that. So I think we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. I think we are getting there. At some point we're going to need to repeat the same thing for the text document when the text document has some user interactions on it. Yeah, okay, you know. Right, so I think finally, maybe finally, not sure. Finally, I think here we can now go self dot message dot and then force set. And we can go image document message, but it's not create, it's a new one. It's clicked, and we can give it the location. Right, fine. And point px hopefully is clonable. It's referring to this point in figures, okay, which is clonable. Okay. Clicked needs this from figures. Go. And yeah, okay, so we can't do this because we have to go let message is self message claim thus, and then we're okay, should be. But we still need to move message into the closure, so fine. And then we've got some other things going on. This is a callback and it needs this message. So did I put that in the right place? Yeah, because this is a closure and okay, so let's put a block around that, call move on it and put the self message there, and then have this. Oh, it's not pretty, is it? Non-exhaustive paths, but we fixed it though. Oh yeah, now we need to add support for what we just did. Okay, so when it's clicked, we get a point. And when we get a point, we can go what? Self dot sidebar find item point, get the dynamic from it and set it. Let's just go println. Clicked. At some point this is going to go in the sidebar, but we've not added to the sidebar yet. But let's just see if we can print out the point. Because we still need to know whether this thing actually works like it's supposed to. Does it not have debug? What? Oh, and then there's no action to be taken after that. Okay. Who thinks this line of code is ever going to be called? I have a feeling we missed a step here. But you never know, we might have got it right first time. Well, we've got a button and it gets clicked. Yeah, okay. So let's put a println over here. Just to see if we're getting the location up here. We're getting that. Yeah, we definitely missed a step. What step did we miss? Okay. We're probably doing the wrong thing somewhere. Okay, so in our image thing, we've got a message, and we're updating it. And this message is this message, and this message is this message, and this message was given to us by the new function. Or which was given to us by the from path or create new. It's possible that we forgot to do it, so we're doing from path. Yeah, I only put the mapping in on one of these two things, didn't I? That's what the problem is. So if we take this, let's not do that. Let's refactor it into a method called make. What is this? Image document message mapping. Sure. And then we can use the same thing here. But we don't have a document tab message. Why don't we have a document tab message? Make document tab, because make document tab is making the message. Let's pull that out of there and pass it in. Okay, so this is called in two places. One's here and the other's here, right? So let's make the message here, which then means this is going to be happy. And then let's put that there and also here. Everything's fine, right? Did we miss any other steps? Let's find out. Ooh, look, it worked. This is where you say something like that was said on that film GoldenEye, right? I am invincible, but I was going to say, my genius knows no bounds. And then, of course, something really bad is going to happen when you say something like that, right? You guys all know that reference, GoldenEye, the hacker, you know, when he's taken over like some missile or something. I don't know what it is. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. And then someone shoots like some, what is it, the gas that makes things really cold. And then he turns into ice crystal, and so it falls on him and he turns into 1,000 pieces. My genius knows no bounds. No. It works. Look, let me be happy, all right? Let me be happy. I'm just going to remind you of the happy face. Okay. That coffee is definitely very, very cold right now, because I made it 2 hours and 18 minutes ago. Okay, so finally we did our user interaction, everything's clicked, and we're all good. So the point of doing this is so that when it is clicked, we can put it in the sidebar. So let's try doing that. Let's do a work in progress commit real quick here. Work in progress. And it's all fine. Let's close all the other things because we don't need them anymore. So we've got this location and it's fine. We know it's getting hit. Let's delete that because we don't care about it anymore. And we need to do something about this. We need to store the point in a dynamic in the sidebar. So let's try adding a sidebar item first. So let's go last clicked location item. Fine. Last clicked. Now, okay. Now our sidebar API is creating the dynamic itself. Yeah. I'm not sure that's right. I'm not sure that's right. Because if there's no location, it's optional, right? So do we just go, maybe, okay, we'll try it. Okay, let's just go none here. We've not clicked anything. Everything's fine. We'll push that one in, then we do this one, and then we get this, and we put this in here, and right, so now we've got that and that in there. Right, let's just make sure that the image tab has 2 items in the sidebar. Okay. It's got last clicked and it says nothing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, should we create a new dynamic that maps the other dynamic? Is that what we should be doing? Because we kind of want to display the word none there. And okay. Let's futz around with the sidebar API and see if we can make it say none there. So let's make the dynamic be given to it so that we've got more control over the dynamic that's put in the sidebar. Okay. Right. So this one is easy. Does. Let's just split this up a little bit because it's getting a bit silly. There we go. And let's do this one as well. So now we've got this none thing here. There's a couple of ways we could do this. We could create the dynamic of the last click location and put it in the sidebar by cloning it. Or we could do something else. I feel like I want to go no. Let's go self.last clicked location dot clone. This is what I want to do. I think we don't have a self yet. Oh yeah, you're right. Everything's fine. So we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to create it. And it's going to be a dynamic default. But it's not going to be that. because we need to map it, I think, to a string. And this is going to be a dynamic point of pixels, right? Because somewhere down here, we've got a point of pixels. So what we can do down here is go self dot last click location and then set it with the optional thing, some point. Okay, so therefore this needs to be not one of these, but an optional one of these. Okay. Which definitely can be default here, but it's confused with the types. So I think what we need to do here is some mapping. Map each, I think. And let's go location. Now it doesn't know what it is. I think we need to specify the type here. I think perhaps this needs to be this. Wait a second. No, I'm doing the mapping in the wrong place. The sidebar item is what needs the mapping. This is where it needs to be mapped, right? Can we... let's just make this go foo.toString. Some one of these. Is that right? So we've got this bracket is that we've got a semicolon in the wrong place. Right. So this is where we need to do the mapping. Let's just see if this compiles. Oh, this is the text one. Dynamic new with one of them. Fine. Okay, so the image one is compiling. This is good. So now we need to go from a optional point pixel to a string, which is fine. So we can go match on the location. And if it's none, we go none to string. And if it's some location, yeah, then we do something else, which I guess is location. Is it location dot? No. Do we want to go format? Format. That's what it is. Format location dot toString. Why is that confused? Oh. We don't want to match it. We want to map it. Location.map. Maybe location, I think. And oops. And then match on maybe location. No? Is that right? I forget. Oh dear. No, I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? Let me carry on with that. Yeah. Okay, fine. we'll just go, you're always going to get a sum back, basically. Yeah, there we go. So that's why we don't want the map. Okay, so it doesn't implement display. So fine, whatever. It does implement debug, so fine. Okay, let's do better than that. What properties are on a point? X and Y? Yeah, kind of what I thought. X, Y, dot X, Y. There we go. Go. Map each. Yeah, what's it complaining about? Why does it need this? Why? Option point PX, but it knows what it is here. Okay. I suppose it doesn't know what that was. So, okay, fine. Does it work? So, last clicked, none. Good. We've got a problem with the last click value being centered, but we'll come back to that. So when I click this, do we think this is going to update? Oh my god, it does. Success. Let's fix this alignment thing. I guess that's in the sidebar items where we create the things. So why is the label left justified and the switcher centered? Let's just try a line left here. Ah, look, last click none. Okay, click. Oh my gosh, this is the furthest we've ever managed to get in any of the GUI frameworks that we've tried thus far. I've got an image, I can click it, and I can say where it's clicked. Oh my god, does it actually make sense though? 10 by 9. I mean, okay, that's in the button itself. It's not the end of the world. If I click down here, it shows me a value that's higher than the image, but it's pretty close. But we don't need it to be a button that's clickable. You know. It's better than nothing, right? Sure. I mean, is button really the right thing? I mean, we need something that's clickable that gives us an event with a point in it, really. Maybe there's a better way of doing that. I don't currently know it. So where we created our little view, we created a button. Can we have a gutter here? Is there a gutter? No. Who's there with? And then the silly intrinsic padding. This one with pixels of new 0. Let's try. Oh dear. It needs to be down here. Okay, we got rid of the border, so when I click top left, you know, it's pretty good there. I guess why is there shouldn't be a... What happens if you press space on this button? Because we're clicking the button, but we don't... I mean, that kind of makes sense. There's no coordinate when you do it, so that's okay. And then can we make it like a flat button or something? Because we've got this button thing, we've got the widgets, we've got a button, and then I think there was a list of components or something. Yeah, these things. I kind of want it clickable, but just so that it doesn't display any fact that it is clicked. We've got blur, hover, unhover, layout, mouse up, drag, focus, hit test on the widget. Some outline colors. Visual state. Styling. Just trying to work out what we can do with the button. Kind. Button kind. What's this? A solid button. Outline button. A transparent button. I want a not button button. Okay. So no. So I guess... I don't know. Let's try going dot with button. Was it border or something? Outline, active outline, hover outline, and it's. Is it really clear black by default? Like. Let's just see what happens if we futz around with it. Button outline, and then it was what? A color pink. No. Pink. Go. GUI styling fun, tra la la la. So when I hover over it, it's got nothing. Let's say with widget background color. I still don't like these clear black and clear white things. Let's see what happens now. That didn't do anything. Let's go with button background. The active is when you're clicking it. Okay, that fixed that. So we've still got this focus ring on it, which we don't really want. Let's set this to clear black. Button what? hover outline. No, don't want one. And then there was a button active outline as well. And then a hover as well. Let's move the padding up. Should we move the padding up or down? Let's just go with it like that. I don't want any of these styles on the button. I don't want people to think it's a button. Okay, now it doesn't look like a button, and we can click it, but we still get a little focus ring on it. Let's see if we can disable focusing somehow. Focus. Prevent focus. Ah. Oh, but now I can't click it. That's not what we want. Well, focus. Advanced focus. What does advanced focus do? Accept focus. What does it do? Oh, I see. I guess that's the opposite of prevent focus. But it gives us a Boolean back. What would you use this for? Not all widgets can accept a focus. If a widget returns true from its accept focus button, the focus was given to it. Okay, I see. So that's part of the widget implementation. Right, so it's not that. I don't know how to style the focus thing. Focus color? Oh, that might do it. That's a lot of styling, but you know. Ah. That didn't do anything, did it? With focus, or yeah. Why doesn't focus color work on a button? It's like, let's just see if it is the focus. I'm fairly sure it is the focus. That's the problem. Yeah. It's definitely the focus. I mean, at least there's focus support in the GUI framework, I suppose. We can look on the bright side. Yeah. Just got a light on. There we go. It's getting a bit dark. 2 hours 43 we've been going so far. I don't know how to make this disappear. Okay, I'm just going to ignore it. Well, I'm going to try moving it down first because previous experience tells you that reordering these things sometimes makes a difference. But it didn't in this case. It gives us a style. Let's try moving it all the way up onto the button. No, can't get rid of it. So let's say fix me focus color is not being applied here. Don't know why. But the rest of it is sort of going okay. Now, we do have one issue. In that the button is bigger than the image. So let's look at this. So we've got a button, and the button's that big, but the image isn't that big. We still need to deal with the resizable stuff too. What can we potentially do to fix that? Right, we had a work in progress commit. And basically what we were doing in all of this stuff was display the last clicked coordinate of the image in the image document sidebar. Okay, so well, yes, fine. Let's not do that one. Yeah. And then this one is going to be fix sidebar item alignment or value item value alignment. Yeah. Fine. Okay. So we're good there. But what can we do about the fact that the button is big? I suppose we could make the button the same size as the image. And then put the whole thing in a container. And then align that. Yeah, okay. Let's try that. Oh gosh. So we're creating a switcher, and then here we've got this, and then we've got some stuff, and it does need to be inside this. Oh my god, look at this. Look at the nesting. I mean, we can't do it outside because it needs to be lazy, I think. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on here. So what can we do? So if we don't expand this, what happens? Right. Huh. I was not expecting that. Is it because the height is expanded and therefore it just gets expanded anyway? Okay, let's wrap that. So let image, I suppose image button, well, I suppose image container. Yeah, go on then. Container new the image widget, sure, and then maybe expand that and make a widget out of it, image container widget, and then that we go here, and then the switcher we're going to say with a background color of blue, and this one is going to be green, just so we can see what's going on with the hierarchy of all these things. This is where you need some kind of inspector and stuff like this. Right. Okay, so the blue bit is the switcher still, and we're supposed to have a green bit, but we don't have a green bit. So what's the point of the container? Do we have an expand somewhere on the button? We've got an image widget, we've got a sidebar widget. Should we go a line left and a line top? Put it in the top left. Kind of curious to know what's going to happen here. I mean, it's already top left aligned, but yeah. Putting it in a container didn't do anything. We've got a... That's pretty weird. Was there a container thing here? Container background? Oh, what's this? I don't know. Background color. Let's... When to use widget background and when to use the background method, you know. It's a bit funky, right? Okay. So now we can see the green, which is good. But this blue bit is too big. So how can you make it not expand? So child thing? No. Fit? Should we be fitting it? I don't know. I don't know. Let's say fit horizontally and fit vertically. What's the difference between expand and fit? I don't think it was that. It's not clear. What if we don't have expand here? I mean, should, oh, hold on. Maybe. I don't know. So we've got, I mean, the parent of the image is this. I don't know about these. They didn't seem to really do much. Bit. And fit. Don't know. I might have to ask in Discord about this one. I honestly don't know. I know I want the container to be expanded, but I just want the button to be aligned top left without being expanded. Let's put a fix me here. Fix me. The button should be the same size as the image texture. Right. I'm going to leave the padding around it right now, so that it's clear what's what. But we are making progress. And we still would get rid of this stupid focus thing as well. But don't worry, we've got to fix me for it. It's fine. You know. So because what we want is the button to be the same size as the image, so that if you click outside of the image, nothing happens. No event is clicked. But currently, because the button is too big, we're getting coordinates which are greater than the image coordinates. Whether, you know, when we add resizing, whether they're still accurate in terms of like the actual pixel coordinate on the image is another matter entirely, because likely we probably need to find the width of the button, find the width of the image, and scale the point accordingly. But you know, that's a problem for another day, because we haven't added the resize yet. But you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. So we've got dynamic stuff in the sidebar. This is, you know, we're definitely making some progress here. Ideally, this grid wants to have an alternate row kind of colouring, or some kind of like grid thing to it. But I think that's for another day as well. Yeah, okay. So we're going to clean up the warnings. Button click we don't need. So what did we do in this commit? We added a fix me. Yeah, so let's say wrap the image button in a container. Okay, so let's say try to make the image button the same size as the image by wrapping it in a container. It doesn't work. Fix me added. Sure. Okay, let's push all today's changes up. Oh, I suppose I could do it with the IDE. Close all tabs. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all totes fine. Ooh, hold on a second. Last click text quite coordinated. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of okay. Currently, we've got some problems. Currently, there are some fix me's. Yeah, I mean it does it, and then we need to ideally get rid of all these red X's. All right. We haven't done this yet. Display the image size, width, and height in the sidebar. Okay, but you know, we made progress. Okay, let's say. We've got a commit message for that, which we've used before. Git log one line. It was something like update requirement state. That's the one. Be consistent with your commit messages, people, if you're doing the same thing again. Right. I could squash that with the previous commit, but life's too short for that, right? Yes, that was it. Pushing, that was it. 37 errors for some reason, but it's not. It's just the README document that's complaining about it. We've got a bunch of to-dos. I suppose this one and this one needs to be squished together, so let's do that. Git rebase. Not origin, my repo, tab document with that one, and then we need to squish this one. Fix up though. No, not that one. Oh, I nearly did that wrong. Squash. There we go. That. Pretty sure that's what we did. Let's have a look. There's been lots of commits for this. We're up to 40 videos on Rust GUI framework so far. 40. So ideally all of these changes in here are all to do with the image document stuff that we did, which is the last click location, but we had to make some changes to this because of the changes to the sidebar. So yeah, no, we got. I did the rebase properly. It's fine. So now we can push all these. Hydra, yeah, that's the one. Push. Pushed. It's done. Okay. So, for anybody following along, the link to the code with all the commits that we just had is in the video description. If you've not subscribed already, it would help if you click subscribe, so you don't miss out all this excitement and fun and smiley face mugs. Who knows what mug we're going to have next. If anyone wants to make donations so that I can buy fun mugs, that's most appreciated. I do like good mugs. I've got a pretty decent mug collection so far. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. Probably need to think about what we're going to do next after this. I mean, we're running out of things to do in this requirements thing, right? I mean, we're not. Testing, integration tests, multiple tabs, fiddle about, status bars, multiple tabs of the same document, displaying window, context menus. Oh, I think we've actually done this one. I need to check that. I think we've also done this one as well. Oh, I think we've done this one as well. Hold on. You guys love a forced push, right? let's make sure I did that. So the last click location is supposed to stay on the tab when you change tabs. That's what the tab state is about. This was a big problem for other frameworks. So let's see if it works. So we click somewhere, we go to another tab, we come back, and it says it still. It just didn't work in other frameworks, that. Or just required so much fapping about to do that it wasn't worth my time. We're going to amend that. There we go. And then we're going to force push, because why not? Git push hydra tab document UI example with ELM force. Off you go. There it goes. Yeah, image tabs. I mean, it's meeting a lot of the requirements. It's met a lot more of the requirements than any other GUI framework thus far. And when I say any other framework thus far, I mean the Rust ones that are on my list. What list? What list? This list. I'm going to change this maybe to a probably. That's how confident I am about this framework right now, after having tried all the other ones. It is experimental. There is a small community, but it's fairly decent overall. Every single framework has some gotchas and some weirdness. So, you know. But that changed from a no to a probably. That did. Because when I first started looking at it, I wasn't very happy with the lack of context system. But we've worked around that. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, didn't we add? Oh, we added native. We added. I'm missing one here. We added NWG, right? Native Windows GUI. Yeah, that one. Oh, what happened there? No. Bad experience. Native requires writing the app for each platform, even with a shared Rust core. Right. We did do it. We tried it. Yeah. Bad experience. I guess additionally with this one, had native look and feel, obviously. It's uses an old API. Win32. And then let's say, but what is native on Windows 11? Because of the different GUI styles, right? So, you know, if there's no such thing as native on Windows anymore, then, well, you might just as well use any GUI framework and just let it look like whatever it looks like. And this is the world that we live in today, and I'm not happy about it. You see, because one of the things that I don't want to be doing, right, in all these frameworks, is the stuff that I was literally just doing today. So, you know, where I'm doing a sidebar and futzing around with the colors, I just want like a grid control widget which has already got the native style on it, and to use that. But no. And then who knows what's going to happen when I switch my system theme to light mode. Is Cushy going to be in light mode automatically? And am I going to have to start fiddling around with styles and themes and all the rest of it? I suppose we need to experiment with that a little bit, don't we? There's still plenty of things on the list that we need to do, that we need to look at. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, folks. So, just remember, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See ya.